When talking about the best teams in the NBA, the most surprising team in the NBA, what team had the biggest jump so far? What team in the NBA right now did not make the playoffs last year, but is now the first seed in the Western Conference? You guys know exactly who I'm talking about. That's the Los Angeles Lakers. And because of this NBA suspension and potentially the shutdown of the 2020 season, the Los Angeles Lakers basically wasted their season. In my opinion, they were the team that was going to win the 2020 championship if everything was going according to schedule. And the craziest part of all is for those LeBron James fans out there, if you guys wanted him to get his 4th championship ring, this was basically the season where he could actually have gotten it. But we're going to leave the past in the past and look at the future. One of the biggest conversations right now is, will the Lakers still be that best team in the Western Conference for the 2021 season? And if they're not, what are they going to do to make sure that they are? What pieces can they add for them to still be competitive? What free agents should they add to make them competitive? And one of the craziest reports right now that we're getting is that Chris Paul of the Oklahoma City Thunder could be a potential target that they want for their 2021 roster. And this video is going to be about that possibility. But before I get into that, if you guys are new to the channel and love basketball, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications to not miss any of my upcoming videos just like this. But let's talk about a potential Chris Paul, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis trio. So from what it looks like right now, the Los Angeles Lakers actually have a plan to get Chris Paul. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not easy. Right now, Chris Paul is playing in his 15th year in his career playing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. When talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're also in that category of one of the most surprising teams of the 2020 season, as right now they're the 5th in the Western Conference with a record of 40-24. After OKC traded away Russell Westbrook and Paul George in last year's offseason, they literally went on a full rebuild mode. But it turns out that this rebuild literally took 1 year to make them still a playoff team, which is a great sign for the future of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the reason why they're doing so well is because of Chris Paul, because of their all-star point general and floor general and captain. The point that I'm trying to make is that even though Chris Paul is in the category of an old veteran player, he's still an all-star and playing at a high level and could be a great asset to any team. Chris Paul going to the Lakers could mean so much for the Lakers for the upcoming years and also be a great deal and reason why Anthony Davis stays longer than the 2021 season, because next year he has a player option which he'll most likely pick up. If you guys don't know this, Chris Paul is actually one of the closest friends to LeBron when it comes to all players in the NBA. So if LeBron James wants you on his team, he's going to be a great factor on why you actually end up on his team, because LeBron James, y'all know how it works. But do you guys remember this year during the 2020 NBA All-Star Game? The team of LeBron, Chris Paul, and Anthony Davis were already on the floor together and actually won the All-Star Game. People say that LeBron James and Chris Paul won't fit on the same team because they're both ball-dominant players. But if you watch that All-Star Game, Chris Paul showed us that he could be a great and effective off-ball player and three-point shooter. And also, the reason why I don't want to hear that conversation about how Chris Paul's a ball-dominant player and cannot be played with another ball-dominant player, because we've seen it through the Houston Rockets last year when he was playing alongside James Harden. When it comes to two all-star talents, they're always going to find a way to make it work, and LeBron James and Chris Paul are veterans in the NBA, and I believe they could be a great duo teammate when it comes to the ball handling aspect. But there's a big problem when it comes to Chris Paul potentially joining the Los Angeles Lakers. I know this situation does sound familiar because when Kobe Bryant was on the Los Angeles Lakers in 2012, Chris Paul tried joining him with Dwight Howard, but it didn't work. But I believe that in this case with LeBron and Anthony Davis and with the NBA today, Chris Paul to the Lakers is actually a big possibility. But there's one problem, and that's Chris Paul's salary and how much money he's worth. With Chris Paul's salary being $41 million for the 2021 season, what the Lakers have to do is give as much players as they can to match that contract, or 80% of it. The problem with this is the Los Angeles Lakers are giving away a lot of their depth to get an all-star point guard, so the question to that is it worth it? According to Sam Quinn of CBS Sports, the Lakers are considering trading for Chris Paul this offseason. He says this: Paul already played for one Los Angeles team. He was viewed by many as a safety star for the other, but the Lakers traded for Anthony Davis and spent their cap space elsewhere, while the Clippers emptied their vault for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. By the time both were done, they couldn't even make a trade work under the cap. Now, a trade is at least possible for one. It's downright tempting for the other. Roster size constraints wouldn't be an issue in the offseason, as some of those players would likely be directed elsewhere anyways. The Lakers would need to include a young asset to entice the Thunder. Kyle Kuzma would suffice, or if he is still viewed as untouchable, both their 2020 and 2021 first-round picks become tradable immediately during the 2020 NBA draft. He then adds this: with Chris Paul's 2021 salary set at $41 million, the magic number they would need to reach would be $33 million in outgoing salary, which is that 80%. It would cost a fortune in depth, but the Lakers can hit that number provided those options are picked up. Caldwell Pope, Danny Green, and Avery Bradley could be in that deal. McGee would push it over the top, or the Lakers could add packages like Talen Horton-Tucker and Quinn Cook, provided they guarantee their 2021 salary. It ultimately boils down to preference. I've come up with two trade scenarios that I believe are the best possible ways the Thunder would actually give up Chris Paul. The first trade would be with Kyle Kuzma, and that deal would be Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green, Quinn Cook, and Rajon Rondo. 5 players for one, and the Los Angeles Lakers can sign cheap free agents in order to fill their roster. But if the Lakers stay true to their word and say that Kyle Kuzma is untouchable, the trade would have to be Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green, Quinn Cook, Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo, and Talen Horton-Tucker, a young forward that the Thunder can develop in the future years. That deal is basically the same, but instead of Kyle Kuzma, it'd be Avery Bradley and Talen Horton-Tucker. The Thunder also have a young guard of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who they can develop to be their future star and franchise player, so adding depth around him might not be a bad idea. Because if you look at the aspect of an aging Chris Paul, you want to get as much for him as possible. JaVale McGee could also be in the mix if the Thunder want a solid backup center to back up Steven Adams. The Lakers have a lot of things they want to do this offseason, whether it's re-signing half of their roster, DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, but what the biggest question is, what are they going to do to keep them competitive and keep LeBron James and Anthony Davis happy? I would love to see a trio of Anthony Davis, Chris Paul, and LeBron and take the Lakers back to that top seed in the Western Conference. And the possibility of these 3 players actually being on one NBA team really gets me super excited that I want to do a quick scenario for you guys. So let's say, in all good relative terms, everything goes according to plan. The Lakers get Chris Paul, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, and they built one of the greatest big threes we could actually ever get to see. With these 3 players of the Los Angeles Lakers roster taking up most, or in other words, all of the Los Angeles Lakers salary cap, they're going to have to sign players in the 2020 free agency that are willing to take minimum deals in order to join a championship run. And we're looking at potential free agents who could actually join the team. There actually are some great targets that I found. So talking about the starting lineup would be Chris Paul at point guard. They would need a good shooting guard, possibly a defensive one. LeBron James at small forward because that's LeBron's position. Anthony Davis at power forward because he doesn't like playing center. He likes playing the power forward position naturally. And they would also need a great center to be a great rebounding and rim protector alongside AD. There has been many rumors since DeMarcus Cousins got waived by the Los Angeles Lakers that they kept him around and are still working him out and training him even though he's not a part of the roster. There has also been a guarantee that the Lakers want to sign Dwight Howard again, and I believe that in Dwight Howard's point in his career, he would and will sign with the Lakers again for a veteran minimum. But one of the biggest conversations out there is a potential Tristan Thompson and LeBron James reunion when they won the championship with the Cavaliers, and Tristan Thompson is becoming a free agent where he can sign wherever he wants. So imagine signing Dwight Howard and let's say Tristan Thompson to get Tristan Thompson to start at that center position and Dwight Howard still play that same role as that 6th man. I would love to see that happen. And now moving over to the shooting guard position, there are many shooting guards in that free agency that is a perfect fit for the Los Angeles Lakers starting role. There are players like Kent Bazemore available, Andre Robertson, who has proven to be a great 3-and-D player, Justin Holiday, who is playing for the Indiana Pacers this year, having a tremendous year off the bench, Wesley Matthews, who has previously been a part of a winning organization of the Milwaukee Bucks. But one of the most popular players that we wanted to see with the Lakers was Bojan Bogdanovic, who currently is a starting shooting guard for the Sacramento Kings, who's a sharpshooter and great scorer. Any one of these shooting guards could be a great starting shooting guard alongside Chris Paul, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Tristan Thompson, and potentially whoever the Los Angeles Lakers sign, they'll definitely get them for very, very cheap. If everything goes according to plan and the best possible solution, this would be it. But I want to know what you guys think. If you were the Los Angeles Lakers general manager and you had the opportunity to get an all-star point guard like Chris Paul, are you willing to take the risk, trade all your assets for Chris Paul, and risk a very important season? Let me know your opinions down in the comment section down below. But this wraps up my video for today, guys. If you loved the video, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on ezBUCKETz. Woo!
Ay, look at that boy, cooking up joints like run at the school, like you already know, never got help, so did it myself, doing so well, I bet you can't tell that I've been running like this my dance.